YouTube. That's 2 weeks in a row you're doing that to us, YouTube. Come on. All right, guys, we're really sorry about that. YouTube is being a pain at the moment.
Yeah.
YouTube is really annoying.
So we're going to have to wait for hopefully the guys that were just on the live chat with us to hopefully find this live session. And we did have quite a lot of questions still to go through. So we have copied all the questions that we just received from the live chat, and we will go through them in very shortly. Maybe we'll just wait for some people to come back.
Yeah, that's very annoying that YouTube has cut right in the middle of us answering you guys' question. That's there's nothing more annoying. Anyway, hey Trent, how are you doing?
I'm glad that some people are finding us now, but we were just wrapping up a question about how to find a flat in New Zealand, and so we will be adding some links in the description below when we do the rebroadcast of this video, so that you guys can get all those tips just in case you missed all that. And we do republish these videos throughout the week as well, in case you do miss any of the questions.
Yeah, we do that all the time.
Yeah, so just in case, and it's also a good way for you guys to ask any other questions you might have forgotten as well. You can put it in the comments of any of our videos, any of your questions, and we will get to them on our next Q&A session.
Yeah, so we're glad to have you guys back on track. Thank you for finding us again, White Elom, Rugby Lover, Margarita Mama. So can you guys tell me what you saw? Like, what happened? Like, for us, we just saw the camera just going off, and that was it. And but I think you guys could still hear us, so I'm not 100% sure what happened. But
let us know what happened on your end, just with that weird thing that just happened there.
So we can
really helpful.
Yeah, we can kind of troubleshoot that and maybe have that not happen. I mean, that'd be nice not to happen again, right? I mean, it's usually quite a. It was like it just ended, so you couldn't hear us straight away, just blank. Okay, that's weird.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well.
Anyway, so Margarita, White Elom was asking about Hamilton downtown. Is it safe for women and young couple? The whole of New Zealand is safe, to be quite honest. We go to Hamilton regularly, actually, and it's pretty safe. It's not Hamilton is not the most glamorous place in the country. Let's be honest. There's much more like glamorous places and much more like nice downtown areas than Hamilton, but it's not unsafe. It's just the usual common sense things. Obviously, you don't be super naive about things. Don't go down dark, dodgy alleys by yourself, obviously. But usually, if you're in public areas, and it's a city at the end of the day, so it's not likely there's going to be 100% safe. That wherever there's people, there's probably danger. But everybody's out to get you.
Yeah, I always live in fear. But really, it is, compared to elsewhere in the world, it's pretty safe. There's nothing to be scared about. Just have some common sense.
Yeah, definitely. And to be fair, I mean, New Zealand is one of the safest countries in the world. Very little is happening here. There's been one incident that you saw in the news in the last 10 years. That is pretty much it. So New Zealand is super safe. People are really kind. As long as you have common sense, you'll be totally fine. And Hamilton is actually quite a big student town, so there is a lot of kind of younger people as well. So the crowd is quite cool. There's a lot of like student clubs and everything. So if you want to make friends, you can join those kind of student clubs. They all have like a theme, from the nerdy math club to the elite kind of like rugby team, for example. There is like everything in between as well. So you'll be able to make quite a lot of friends easily in Hamilton. So it's quite a nice place. Margarita Mama says, where would you go to buy jade souvenirs, in Wellington or Masterton? I'd definitely go to Wellington, and despite the fact that I wouldn't buy jade souvenirs in any of those places, I'd buy them in Hokitika.
Yeah, it's a shame that you are just staying in those places. If you do get the opportunity while you're in New Zealand, there's really like a whole lot to see, and I think it would be a bit of a shame to just stay in Wellington and Masterton. There's places really much like all over New Zealand that are famous for their jade souvenirs. Like Robin just mentioned, Hokitika is very good, which is in the South Island on the west coast. Particularly on the west coast of the South Island, this is where a lot of jade is sort of washed down from the mountains down the rivers to the beaches. So there is an abundance of greenstone and jade down there. Also, there's a lot of opportunity to carve your own souvenirs around the South Island, in particular, in Stewart Island, again in Hokitika, in Franz Joseph Glacier as well. So yeah, definitely. I would say if you want proper, authentic jade souvenirs and that sort of thing, the South Island is more the place to go for it. But that's not to say that there won't be anywhere to buy jade in Wellington. Souvenir stores, they're everywhere in Wellington. So you're going to be getting, jade souvenirs in any of those souvenir stores, but they are obviously mass produced, not as authentic or as special as what you might find in the South Island. But yeah, that's just the way it is.
Yeah, that's for sure. Cool. Sorry, what was it? Mountain bike trail. Sorry, where is it? I can't find it anymore.
Did you guys know where are the free mountain bike trails in Rotorua?
Mountain bike trail. What's the name? Trent. Oh yeah, Trent.
Yeah.
Trent Gaming, mountain biking in Rotorua. So yeah, there is actually quite a lot of mountain biking areas in Rotorua. Yeah. So should we do it?
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, so Trent Gaming is asking, do you guys know of any mountain biking trails in Rotorua? So yeah, there is plenty of mountain biking trails in Rotorua, and we actually have an article on BackpackerGuide.NZ called 10 mountain biking trails in Rotorua. Look, and you can see it nicely. And so we go through quite a few of those. And the first one is obviously in the Redwood Forest. That's probably the most popular kind of mountain biking area.
most of the trails you're going to mention on this list are within the Redwoods Forest, otherwise known as actually no, I'm not going to say it out loud.
Yeah, no, it's
I can't even see it,
I think it's Whakarewa.
Yeah, that's it.
Whakarewa Forest, if I'm correct. But again, I'm so sorry for that.
But it's most commonly known as the Redwoods, and there's a whole bunch of free mountain bike trails that you can go and do there. They have mountain bike rental at the visitor center, which is located at the Redwoods as well. So whether you have your own bike or you need to hire one, Redwoods is definitely a good place to go in Rotorua for mountain biking.
So in the Redwood Forest, there is a lot of trails. So Laura is going to go through like some of the most popular trail in the Redwood Forest for you guys.
Yeah, so if you're looking for an easygoing trail in the Redwoods, the Dipper is a good one to do. That's a grade 2 mountain bike trail. That's also a good one to do with kids if you're traveling with kids as well. So if you're looking for an easy breezy, like winding through the forest sort of thing, that is definitely the way to go. But if you're looking for more adventure, more downhill thrills, something a bit more rugged, then the Tuhoto Ariki Trail is a really good one in the Redwoods. And that is a grade 4 trail. So you kind of need to know a little bit about what you're doing. And this is a 5-kilometer long dual use trail, meaning that there's also going to be some potential walkers on that trail as well. So just
cool, potential to score some points, right? 50 point for a kid, 100 point for an adult, right?
So be aware that you might need to slow down.
Okay, maybe just be careful then. Fine.
I'll keep on going through some more. So, but if you're looking for mountain biking trails outside of the Redwoods, there's a really good one at Western Okataina, which is along a lake, one of the many lakes around Rotorua. And this is a grade 3 trail. And this one's a little bit longer. It's about 19 kilometers. So this is more of a sort of scenic mountain bike trail. And again, it's free to go to. You just need some transport and obviously hire a bike in town, take your own transport out to the trail, and all the details on where the location is on the article, which we'll link up to in the description below. Okay, so a really popular bike trail, which is quite long, it's quite scenic, but takes you to some of the highlights of Rotorua, is the Te Ara-Ahi Trail, which is another grade 3 trail, meaning that it's sort of an intermediate level. There's going to be a few challenges, but it's not going to be too hardcore. And this is a 48-kilometer ride from Rotorua city centre out into the outskirts of Rotorua, down a sort of geothermal area where you'll get to Kerosene Creek, which is one of the free hot pools of the Rotorua area. So you can stop by there, give yourself a little bit of a nice little warm session in the natural hot pools there, and then continue on your way. There's also access to the Rainbow Mountain area, which is like an awesome steaming sort of hillside, lots of different colors and lakes there to see as well. So that's a really good scenic ride to do. I'll just see if there's any more in the redwoods that I can mention. So another really good, would you like to say some? Or
No,
I'm just going crazy.
I know. Yeah, I know you're enjoying yourself, so go crazy.
Yeah, so another one in the redwoods that you can do if you are looking for a little bit more of a more adventurous trail is Hot Cross Buns. This is grade 4. It's a 2.7 kilometer trail, and yeah, just some quick, awesome downhill blasts with lots of ferns, a lot of natural New Zealand vegetation among the redwoods as well. So that's definitely a place to go. Do you want to talk about the Skyline Gondola maybe and their mountain biking trails? I'm sorry, I almost forgot you were here. So
that's okay. So you can take, so in Rotorua there is a Skyline, right? So at that point that's not free. You've got to pay for the Skyline, but it takes you uphill, obviously, because that's a Skyline, that's a gondola, and then you can make your way back down. So there's something called like the Gravity Bike Park, which is really awesome. It's basically mostly downhill. It's actually where they have one of the really big festival there. It's called Crankworks. It's one of the biggest mountain biking festival in the country, and it's happening in Rotorua right at the gondola. And the downhill is really fun, but you got to be prepared for like some some kind of sharp turns, and so make sure that you're not just going there for like your first time mountain biking. Just be prepared and know what you're doing.
And just to also mention, that one isn't free. You will obviously need to pay for the gondola if you need to rent mountain bikes. Obviously, that isn't free either. But that's also worth mentioning, and it's one of the probably most famous places to mountain bike in Rotorua. And there's one more that I'd like to mention, which is it's a bit outside of Rotorua, but there are a lot of tours that go there. And this takes you to a really awesome sort of wilderness area with some epic mountain biking trails. And that is in the Whirinaki Forest Park, which there's 2 different mountain bike trails that you can do there. There's a grade 2 one and a grade 4 one, or I think you can also loop these together to do both. So one of them is called the Moerangi track, which is a grade 3 to 4. That is your more adventurous mountain bike trail. It's about 35 kilometers. So there is the opportunity, because there are some huts there, to stay overnight in one of the huts. Otherwise, I think you can return the same way and still make it in the same day. And then the easier option is the Whirinaki bike trail. And this one I think this is a little bit shorter. Oh no. This one, this is about 5 hours to complete this trail, so it's still pretty much a full day mountain bike trail. But yeah, if you do, you will find some mountain bike tours in Rotorua, which will take you to this beautiful wilderness area. So that's definitely worth looking up as well. But bearing in mind that does involve quite a long transport, so you will need to pay for that as well.
Yeah. All right. So that was mountain biking in Rotorua. If you guys want to know more about that, in the description below, we have a link to some articles like that of the 10 best mountain biking areas in Rotorua, as well as even more mountain biking content. So make sure to like and subscribe, because we do that all the time if the camera works.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So let's go through a couple of extra questions that we got. Natalie says, what jobs in the city for a couple of backpackers who would like to work together? Employers usually tend not to like to hire couples together, because you bring your drama from home to the workplace. So usually they're going to try not to get that. But I've seen a lot of couples working in fundraising, for example. They're always really keen to take couples for those things. So you may want to do fundraising, although it's really not a fun job to do. And it's not necessarily a job I personally, in my beliefs, I agree with. Not because I don't believe in charity and everything, but when you do fundraising, you work for a marketing company that takes a lot of money out of the charity. So it's kind of like, it's taking money away from charity, basically. So it's like, and some restaurants do hire a couple, like, you have one person working in a kitchen as a kitchen hand, one person working as a waiter or something like that. But my question for you, Natalie, is why the hell would you like to work with your partner? It's awful.
Yeah, we do that all the time.
So that would be the first thing that comes to mind. Is there any other kind of jobs that comes to mind for you?
In cities, I guess it's a little harder, but I was thinking about, we were mentioning about Tauranga at the beginning of this video, where there's a lot of fruit picking jobs, and that's definitely a social type of job.
They already did that, and they don't want to do that anymore. That's what she says cities.
Oh, okay. So you've already done that. So let's move on.
All right, so that was our suggestion. Yeah, maybe one of those is good for you. White Elum says, which cities have the best weather in New Zealand? Actually, the highest amount of sunlight is in Nelson, New Zealand. So here you go. If best weather for you is sun, Nelson is your place. And Trent says, thank you very much for answering my question. Love your video. Oh, thank you very much. Okay, so now what happened before the previous video kind of screwed over. We kind of copied and paste what you guys were saying, so we can go through some other question. So we had Raj that said, "Where are you based? Wellington and Auckland?" None of those actually. We're in Central North Island, so we like to be close to the mountain. We like to be close to the forest and everything like that. So we're in Central North Island.
Yeah,
so,
personally, like, we find New Zealand is not the country to come to for the cities.
Yeah.
Like countries like Australia, they're much better for that. But New Zealand is really about the natural landscapes here, and that's definitely what we're here for in New Zealand for as well. There's some beautiful places for hiking, doing lots of beautiful outdoorsy activities. That's really that's what New Zealand is all about. So I would definitely recommend come to New Zealand for its landscape, for its culture, for its wildlife, but maybe not for its cities.
Yeah. But last time we did a meetup, we did organize it in Auckland because we were going to Auckland. I mean, we do travel quite a lot. So when we do meetups and everything like that, we try to organize it in places where there are more people than that. Because if it's just us, a lake and a forest, it's a bit boring.
Yeah.
I mean, not that we don't like it. We do enjoy that. But
it just doesn't make good for, having drinks and meetup.
Exactly, yeah. Cool. What else did we have? Jean Mira Boyts was saying, is it possible for me to rent a house before my arrival in New Zealand? Do not do that. Everybody that's going to offer you to rent your place before you actually have met them in person is a scammer, and is going to scam you out of your money. So no, do not do it. We read that in the news all the time. We have people contacting us all the time with those problems. Do not do that. Do not rent a house before arriving in New Zealand. Only the scammers are doing that. So no. I can't be more clear than that. I say no.
Yeah. On BackpackerGuide.NZ, we do have in our long-term accommodation section, we do have a lot of advice, particularly safety advice for renting a flat or a house in New Zealand. And basically going through the process, you need to make sure that there's a whole checklist of things that you need to make sure is okay with the house. There might be some problems that you wouldn't expect in your home country, which are evident in New Zealand. So, we do have this big long checklist. So make sure you go on BackpackerGuide.NZ and type in long-term accommodation. And there we have lots of advice about renting a house in New Zealand, and also telling you not to rent a house before you arrive in New Zealand.
So that was the question that we had before the live chat cut off. So thought we go through those ones. White Elum said that we are both lovely. Yeah, someone said both for once. Oh, so I'm lovely too. Look at that. I like it.
I assume they always meant you and not me.
Cool. Margarita Mama said, just curious, and you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but where are you folks located? Oh, we just said it.
Yeah.
Central North Island. And do you run a business? Yes, we do run a business, and it's fun to do. Honestly, it's the best job in the world.
Yeah.
That's why actually, if you on the beginning of this live session, I think that was Grant that asked us what was the best and worst job, except this one. But yeah, we've done a lot of different jobs around New Zealand, but this is definitely the best job I've ever had.
Yeah.
And that's the job I'm going to keep forever.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome. So Grant is guessing Oakune, and Grant is wrong. But that's
I would like to live in Oakune. It's
Oakune
quite
would
nice.
Be good. Yeah, I don't think I like carrot enough. So
I like carrot cake.
Oakune is really famous for having a massive sculpture of the carrot at the entrance of the town because it's the carrot capital of New Zealand. You'll find that a lot of places in New Zealand like to claim themselves as the capital of something.
And have a giant sculpture
and have a giant. So, for example, Te Puke is the kiwi capital of New Zealand, and there's a big kiwi fruit. You have Taihape, which is is the gumboot capital of New Zealand. It has a big rubber boot. You have Gore on the South Island, which is the brown trout capital of New Zealand, which has a big trout. You've got Springfield, New Zealand, which has a big donut, but you guys will be able to make the connection why. So there is, what's the one with all the basket of fruits that have?
That's in Cromwell.
Yeah, Cromwell on the South Island has a basket of fruits, like the fruit capital of New Zealand. And so Hoakune has a big carrot. And it's just so weird. But they do have that. Yeah. And so, New Zealand loves having those things. And again, like I literally just say like about 4 or 5 that comes to mind, but there are like 20 of those. Actually, I actually made an article on BackpackerGuide.NZ.
Our very first article that we
the first one we've done
on BackpackerGuide.NZ was 21 big things in New Zealand, which is basically 21 giant sculptures that you can find around New Zealand. And that's not even listing all of them. And there's new sculptures popping up all the time. Yes. Old ones are being taken down. So, the sculpture scene in New Zealand is pretty crazy.
They go crazy. Anyway, so it's kind of hilarious to see those things around. And that was the first article I ever put on BackpackerGuide.NZ because I need to test the images. So I need to come up with something with a lot of images.
Yeah.
And so I came up with this one, and Laura thought that was absolutely crazy. Yeah. That was back in the days. That was quite a few years back.
Grant is still trying to guess where we are situated, and he is incorrect with Te Kuiti and incorrect with Taumaranui.
Yeah, so
again,
sorry.
Still trying to pronounce that.
I don't think you'll ever find it. Honestly, it's very tiny, and it's Don't worry about it. That's why we say Central North Island, because when we meet people, we usually meet around the Central North Island because we have a car, we can go wherever. It's easy as. Anyway, so we're very sorry for the fact that the video was cut in half today. It's really out of our control. It was YouTube's nonsense, but we hope that you guys still enjoyed it today. We're really happy that you guys stuck with us and find the second stream. We'll try to figure out what happened right here, but I'm suspecting it's something within YouTube, and that's not going to be fixed anytime soon. But we will still be back here next week at the selected times. 8 a.m. New Zealand time on Sunday, which is Saturday for you guys in most places in the world. If you're in the US, it's 4 p.m. EST or 12 p.m. PST. If you are in the UK, it's 9 p.m. If you are in France, it's 22 heures. And if you are in India, it's 1:30 a.m. on Sunday. So, What time o'clock is it in New Zealand right now? Look at behind us. You can see the clock over there.
And it's the correct time this week.
So today is the correct time. It is 9 a.m. right now, actually 9:01 exactly. So that's time for Laura to say goodbye to you guys. And thank you very much, Margarita Mama. We do feel much better. We had a big cold last week. But it did take us down for a few days, but we did battle it and survived. So thanks for remembering, Margarita Mama. That's nice. She's a real mama to us.
She's a real mama.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for joining us.
For joining us.
We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.